everyone, I'm Keen47, aka Wolfkeen, and welcome to another edition of My Little Pony Vlogs. Today I am talking about Sonic Rainboom, written by M.A. Larson. That's all I gotta say about the episode, just... This is an amazing episode in many respects. I'm not even gonna hold off, let's get into it. The episode starts with Rainbow Dash basically trying to teach Fluttershy how to cheer, which created one of the most overused memes of My Little Pony history. Don't even try to say no. I'm not even going to get into it. You already know what it is. So we see that Rainbow Dash is basically practicing for the Young Flyers competition in Cloudsdale. She's doing a routine that she's been practicing to impress in the Young Flyers competition. So basically what happens is she's doing everything properly and doing everything right, and then she comes to her final part, the Sonic Rainboom. And when she does try to do a Sonic Rainboom, unfortunately she hits a point where she gets ricocheted back by the Force. Okay, that's believable. Then we cut to the remain four and Spike basically fixing up the library at this point, and Rainbow Dash crashes into the library, knocking all the books down. Jesus. So what happens next is that Rainbow Dash explains about the Young Flyers competition in Cloudsdale, and Pinkie Pie starts talking about the Sonic Rainboom. And we get a funny comment here from Pinkie Pie saying, you need to go out more. That's funny. So what happens next is she wants her friends, she wishes her friends could be at Cloudsdale to watch her compete in the Young Flyers competition, but it's brought up that only Pegasi can walk on clouds. That's understandable in many cases. So it would be next to impossible for normal ponies like Earth and Unicorns to walk on clouds. So of course, Rainbow Dash decides to keep practicing, and tells Fluttershy to improve her cheering. Fluttershy then explains to the remain four that basically Rainbow Dash has not been able to accomplish the Sonic Rainboom. So she doesn't know if she'll be able to. Like, Rainbow Dash is in a wreck in some cases, in many cases. So what happens next is that Rarity ends up bothering Twilight, saying to find a spell to help them get to Cloudsdale, like get wings to go to Cloudsdale. If someone makes a joke, I will hurt you. So Twilight says, how am I going to do that? And then Pinkie Pie, with her Pinkie Pie ability, in many cases, says that she already saw a spell like this, because the book landed on her face when it fell off the bookcase. In the words of Josh Scorcher, convenient! But anyways, Twilight tries to spell on Rarity, which tires her out immensely, and, well, now we cut off back to Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash going to Cloudsdale. So now we finally get to see a different city for once. We get to see Cloudsdale, and it looks insane. Look, I may be afraid of heights, but I wouldn't mind seeing this city at least once. I wouldn't mind actually visiting there if I was a pony. Granted, I would end up being an Earth pony. I bet everyone's going to ask, why is that? I'm not good with magic in any game I've played, and I hate heights. Do the rest. But unfortunately, Rainbow Dash runs into these three bullies that she's had problems with ever since she was in flight school. Basically calling her Rainbow Crush, insulting her and stuff like that. And basically, you know, overall being jerks. Then Fluttershy does try to defend Rainbow Dash in some case, because Rainbow Dash told her she needs to be more assertive. Doesn't work all that well, but it gets them out of there. So I guess mission accomplished? Eh. But then Fluttershy says a few things that drives Rainbow Dash's anxiety to overdrive. And she starts coming up with all these possibilities, saying, I'll probably do so terrible that Celestia will probably banish me. Will she? Okay, I already know, guys. All the memes and stuff like that. Yada, yada, yada. Celestia! Don't care. But then they see Rarity flying. For some reason, Rarity has butterfly wings. Eh. And then the rest of the main six fly into Cloudsdale using a hot air balloon. And as soon as they jump out the hot air balloon, Rainbow Dash is worried that they're about to go through the clouds, and they actually land on the clouds with no problem. Twilight ended up finding an easier spell that she can do, which allows her and the rest to walk on clouds. Smart. So what happens next is that they're there to cheer Rainbow Dash on for the Young Flyers competition, and they decide, Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy decide to show them around. So we get like a tour of different areas of Cloudsdale and stuff like that, from the rainbows to the snowflakes and other stuff like that. And it's actually interesting, some of the stuff that we get to see. Of course, however, Rarity is becoming a little unsufferable in this episode. At the beginning of the episode, she was supportive of her friend. Now she's becoming unsufferable because of her wings and how much praise she's getting from her wings. Hell, at one point, because of all this, it's actually driving Rainbow Dash into worse anxiety. Get me? Because everyone's praising her wings and giving her attention. Rainbow Dash is just worried more and more about her failing the Young Flyers competition. At one point, Rarity actually gets the idea of competing in the Young Flyers competition, and this pretty much pushes Rainbow Dash over the freaking edge, saying that now she's never going to win with Rarity in the contest. Wow. That is a dickish move in many cases, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people can agree with me on that statement. So we move on to the Young Flyers competition, and what happens is that what happens next is basically after, of course, the Wonderbolts appear, Princess Celestia appears, because the prize of winning the Young Flyers competition is that the winner gets to spend a day with the Wonderbolts, which, as you know, Rainbow Dash's lifelong dream, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. So, of course, Rainbow Dash unfortunately does not want to compete right away, and she keeps switching out numbers from the different ponies. Of course, we get a few jokes and stuff like that from some of the other ponies, like, wait a minute, like, the Leroy Jenkins pony. Not even kidding, like, when the announcer pony said, we need someone to go out there, this one pony just goes like, let's do this! I'm like, yes, that's Leroy Jenkins. And so Rainbow Dash keeps swapping numbers until one point she's the last number to go out, and unfortunately there's not enough time for both Rarity and Rainbow Dash to go out there separately. They have to go out there at the same time. And at this point, Rainbow Dash's anxiety is at overdrive, like way overdrive. She's cowering in a corner and everything. This is one thing I liked about this episode. In previous episodes, it showed that Rainbow Dash does not have weaknesses. It kind of showed that Rainbow Dash has like a lot of cockiness and other stuff like that to back her up. But in this episode, it shows that she does have weaknesses. And she is prone to anxiety. She's prone to panic. Which I'm glad to see, because I hate characters who are basically pulling a Naruto in many aspects. So what happens is that Rarity and Rainbow Dash begin doing their act together, and Rainbow Dash, unfortunately, is not focused whatsoever and is failing nearly every single one of her tricks. From crashing into a pillar to crash into another wall, to knocking clouds and nearly hitting Celestia. Yeah, that's going to get you banished. And then finally trying to do the Sonic Rainboom. So basically what happens is that both Rarity and Rainbow Dash fly high into the sky, and then Rarity flies so high up into the sky that not only does she create like this mystical glow with her wings, they burn up due to the sun. And of course, she falls. Basically, she falls. So what happens next is the Wonderbolts try to catch her, and Rarity doing like the screaming, yelling, all this kind of stuff, like screaming, waving her hooves, some other stuff like that. She actually knocks out all three members of the Wonderbolts. Ouch. So Rainbow Dash then begins to fly down as fast as she can to catch Rarity and the three members of the Wonderbolts, which I don't know how she can. And she actually ends up doing the Sonic Rainboom at one point, catching all three of them. 4 of them, sorry. And then, of course, we get shocked faces from some of the main six. And then we get Fluttershy going nuts. I mean, that was insane. Once she caught the Wonderbolts and Rarity, she did a rainbow, and then she dropped them off where they belong. And, pretty much Rainbow Dash is feeling good about herself, because not only was she able to do the Sonic Rainbow, and she was able to save her friend, and as well save the Wonderbolts. Dude, I think my pride would be at overdrive at this point if I did something like that. So what happens next is, of course, what happens next is that, Rarity apologizes for everything that she's done and apologizes to Rainbow Dash for what she did, for what, the anxiety attack that she put on Rainbow Dash. So Rainbow Dash says, it's okay, I just wish I could have met the Wonderbolts. And of course the Wonderbolts go to thank Rainbow Dash for saving them. And of course we get Rainbow Dash's fangirl side, where she goes, oh my gosh, 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 she's like going like that. Like, that was kind of a funny scene. So, of course, we find out that Rainbow Dash won the Young Flyers competition thanks to her Sonic Rainboom. And, of course, Rarity learned her lesson for the episode. To always, support your friends and not try to, basically outshine them in many cases. Always try to support them, which is a good lesson in many cases. And, of course, the bullies do a complete 180 because now she's a recognized pony in Cloudsdale, at least. And the episode pretty much ends there. Honestly, I know I didn't get into this episode too much, but Sonic Rainboom, I'm going to say this right now. This one is definitely in my top 5 of my favorite episodes of Season 1. The thing is with Sonic Rainboom is that not only is it visually appealing, I can relate to Rainbow Dash in some cases with this episode. I am prone to serious stage fright. I know I don't show that in my videos at all. Like, I don't show me having, like, some prone to stage fright. But I can't, and I'm being honest, I can't stand in front of a crowd or perform in front of a crowd. It's tough for me. Over the years, I've gotten, accustomed to it, but I still can't do it today. I mean, I wish I could give you some examples, but back when I played guitar in my school, and back when I did my speech in school, I was nervous as hell, so I can relate to Rainbow Dash. Like, you don't know how, like, that's the thing. When I was learning to play guitar and I was learning, and, I had to play for a wide audience with my school, I was nervous as hell because I felt like if I screwed up once, I missed one note, I missed one signal or anything like that, I felt like I was going to bring my whole band down and screw it all up. I can relate to Rainbow Dash in many situations because of this. Because she had that same thing. She felt like one mistake and that was it for her. That's how I felt when I was playing guitar for my school. I felt like one mistake and I was done. Like, I was freaking done. And I would never be able to play guitar ever again or show my face ever again. But just like Rainbow Dash, I built up my courage and I went for it. Like, I didn't give myself second thoughts. I didn't think about it. I just went for it. I know Rainbow Dash, didn't succeed all the way through, but she did succeed at the end, and that's what matters. It doesn't matter how you begin, it's how you finish that matters. I know a lot of people will probably go against that statement, but it's true. You can have a rough beginning, but if you finish strong, you can make up for it. That's how I felt when I played guitar. I knew, like, I had to do this, so I can relate to Rainbow Dash in this episode. And honestly, the visuals of this episode are insane. When it comes to, seeing the snowflakes, the Rainbow Factory, make a song joke and I will hurt you, and of course the Sonic Rainboom in many cases. Not to mention the main six in this episode were actually very likable, and they were very supportive to her. Rarity in some cases was a bit, a bit of a, I'm not going to say it, but you get what I mean. But she learned her lesson at the end of the day, which is a good thing. And I'm glad she learned her lesson at the end of the day. I mean, like I said, this episode was good. And I'm pretty sure I know why a lot of people love this episode in many cases. Me, definitely in my top 5. Not much else for me to say. So until next time, guys, I'm Keen947, aka Wolfkeen. And this has been another edition of my My Little Pony vlog. So until next time, take care.